Should I quit riding moto? Hey, bit of an emotional one today. I'm 62 years old. I'm out here at QMP. It's a Thursday. We normally ride moto on Thursdays. And I'm kind of just really questioning the whole thing of still riding motocross. So I'm going to bring you along today and just let you share the emotion of what it's like as a motocross rider. You know, like you get to a point where it's, well, I'm 62. How long can I do this for? I broke my arm this year. Friend Joel Evans got killed racing motocross this year. It's a dangerous sport, and you got to go, you know, I got to be honest, you got to commit to it 100%, even to ride socially and just hang out. It's a bloody dangerous sport and dangerous activity. And I'm just questioning it a lot lately. So today, come along. It's going to be, I'm going to ride, I'll film while I'm riding, and I just want to see if you see a pickup in my mood swing through the day. And you know, look, I'm even questioning riding the adventure bike at the moment. I don't know whether I'm done with motorcycles. It's been 10 years I've been riding motorcycles again, and I've gone through 2 other 10-year cycles with this stuff, and I just feel it's Groundhog Day. I'm just doing the same shit over and over, and I don't know whether I want to continue doing it. So we're gonna journal today and see how I feel through the day. So let's get dressed, and hopefully I'll feel a little bit better as the day goes on. So not trying to be a downer on the whole thing, eh? This is true emotion of what it's like living inside my head. You know, it's yeah, do I continue doing this, or is it time to quit? So let's see how we feel at the end of today. So hey, get this, while I'm sitting out here at QMP, Thursday is my normal ride days with good mate Stephen Gall, and I've got him here sitting with me. He's not riding today, and he's going to explain why in 20 words or less. But I'm going to talk to him about the emotion of being a rider, the longevity of riding, like continuing to ride when, you know, perhaps everything, if you wrote it down on paper, says, mate, you should just pack up and fucking go play golf or something. So we're going to have a bit of a yarn about that. So welcome, Steve. How you going, mate?
Yeah, very good, Mal. It's always good to be out here and to catch up with old mates and have a ride, of course. But today I'm not riding because I've got an operation next Monday on my neck through hitting my head into the ground over for too many years, unfortunately, with 8 concussions. I've damaged C4, C5, C6. They're going to be fused, 2 of them, and they have an artificial disc done by a legendary spinal surgeon, Matthew Scott Young, who works at Southport. So that'll put me off the bike for 3 months. I just sold my bike to Kai Orchard. He took my latest 450. But anyway, the subject, what is being talked about here is a really interesting one. And it might be easy for people to think that, oh, Gawley, it's all right for you. You get a free bike from Yamaha, and you know, I've been there for 51 years, so they're really looking after you, which is so nice from Yamaha's point of view. And you get free gear from Alpine Star and all that, so it's easy for you. Well, it isn't that easy, you know. Well, admittedly, I really enjoy it because the fact that nowadays it keeps me fit, it keeps me sharp. And when I say keeps me sharp, not necessarily for any reason as far as racing is concerned, because I don't race. I don't do any vintage motocross racing. I don't do any racing at all, although I was thinking about doing the plus 70 class at the Glen Helen World Championships in a couple of years' time. But that's another story. But why I do it is because I want to keep my cognitive skill, my brain ability to think and react quickly. And I believe that the cognitive aspects of riding a motorcycle as you get older, like I'm 67 now, 68 this year, I'm not getting any younger, but it keeps me sharper. Yeah, sure, I forget names and stuff like that, but it keeps me a lot sharper to do things. I feel as though when I drive a car, my reaction time and on the bike, it's still not too bad. So I think for all of us to think about that cognitive ability as you get older is really worthwhile. And that starts to decline, you know, from an early age. And back when I turned 30, I thought I was getting old, but wait, that was half my life ago now. And I still feel the same as when I was back then as far as wanting to ride and enjoying a ride. So that's basically my synopsis of the situation, Mal.
Yeah, so that's really good, because I think my thing is I've been focusing too much on being, like, as I'm not racing, and what's the purpose of riding, and that's what fucks me up in my head a little bit, is I just go, why am I doing this? But then I think Steve just sums it up there with, you know, the cognitive thing of that, the coordination required. Surely this is stemming off any form of dementia, because just how active your brain has to be to work a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know, compared to a dude that just has worked his whole life and is now maybe playing golf on a weekend or something. So already I feel a paradigm shift in my thought process, that I turned up here just feeling I don't know whether I want to do this, whether I want to ride, but I've never said I'm going to stop riding. But I think just listening to what you said then sort of opens that door again. It goes, yeah, well, that's why I'm here. Yeah. And look, I'll be brutally honest. Probably one of the main reasons I ride is more of the social aspect. This is like my golf on Thursdays.
Yeah.
We come out here and we're just sort of sheepy. A good mate of ours, he's a bit camera shy, but he's bailed to go get ready to ride. He's a couple of years younger than me. Steve, like he said, is 67. I've just turned 62. So this is not the normal activity. This is just so far from what a normal dude at, in their 60s should be doing. And you have no desire to go racing, really, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, the red mist will come out when I go racing, and I want to try too hard, and that could cause injury. And I don't really need that at my age. I just like to have a great life.
So tell me about the motivation. So great example here. When Steve and I ride together, we have never ridden wheel to wheel. We're typically half a lap to a third of a lap separating us.
Yep.
And do you want to explain sort of why that works for both of us?
Well, the stupid reason is that we don't get dirt in our air filter. We don't have to wash our air filter. That's probably a really good reason, because we're basically lazy. We want to pull the bike out and ride the thing. But yeah, we just like to work on our own technique, and then maybe look across the track and see where Mal is. Or Jeff Leask used to ride here sometimes.
Jimmy Deacon.
Jimmy Deacon comes out. Yeah, Army. Sometimes we've had some guys here that just have some fun and just like us, just enjoy it. Unfortunately, Jeff's moved away, and Army's moved up to the Sunshine Coast. They're a bit tougher to get here at the moment, and James is really busy with business at the moment, so it's a bit of a bummer. But Ashley Blair and Tony Blair come out. Tony Blair is an ex F11 fighter pilot, so he's a smart dude, but that doesn't mean he rides a bike fast, but he's trying to ride the bike and he really enjoys it. So does Ash.
I think it's those personal challenges, and for me it's like I am younger than Steve, and he's always been a much better rider than myself, but for me it's a great challenge to go, man, I'm doing close to the same lap times as Steve. And there's been times I've got him a little bit, and mate, I can say 2 or 3 laps he's got it back again, because I can tell that's his focus. He's also spotted me half a lap away, seen I've pulled away 3 bike lengths. I can guarantee 3 laps later he's got it back again and he's pulling away.
And that just depends on how my arms are.
and that's the next surgery. So look, I think I feel a bit better already, and the whole idea of this video is I'm sure there's vet riders that struggle with this emotion. You get pressures, family pressures, you get pressures off people who may be your friends, but they just go, aren't you a bit old to be still playing with dirt bikes and messing around? And I've actually said to Steve quite a few times when we're riding, at any time today did you feel like you were in danger? And typically the answer is no, because we come out on probably the worst thing for a racer is we come out on perfectly groomed tracks. We stay away from the muddy days, we stay away from the ruddy days. We're sort of fair weather riders, and I think that's a pretty good statement, is we just wait for the better day to be riding. Today I'm waiting for MX2 to open up. That's our favourite track. They're grooming it at the moment, so that says everything. All right, well look, I'm going to get out there for a ride, Steve. Thanks for chiming in on that. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, mate, but just everyone remember that Motocross of Nations is this year in America. We're doing, we're doing a lot of fundraising for it. There's a tour over there if anyone's interested, to contact me or to look up the MXON Facebook and Instagram pages. All information's on there. So
I'll throw details in the description of this video below.
Thanks for supporting the team, and thanks Mel for that.
Yeah, cheers. All right, I'm going to go for a ride, mate. Thanks for that, Steve.
Thank you.
Rightio, I'm out on MX2, feeling a bit better after that talk with Steve. I'm going to go do a few laps. I'll leave the camera running. This will be first lap. The track's freshly groomed. Come along for a ride and see how much fun I can have. best I've ridden in 6 months. I fucking feel so good. I feel good. That just felt amazing. Track is groomed so well. You know, man, there's nothing that feels that good. If that was a drug and you could just take a tablet and get that feeling, everyone would want it. I don't think I'm quitting.
Ashley Blair, 54. I started riding when I was about 12, so been a few years now. Yeah, so off and on over the years, but yeah, give up. It's hard. You keep coming back. Well, got a good bunch of guys I go riding with, and it's fun. It keeps you fit, and I've tried to give up a few times, but nothing sort of as good as what this is. Well, I think once you've been a moto guy, you keep coming back to it. I was thinking about that yesterday. Wouldn't mind doing a couple later in the year if everything's going well, but I normally only ride big events over the last sort of 5 years, a day in the dirt, and did a couple of Sunny State titles, but haven't done anything since COVID. So, but yeah, definitely consider it again. Well, I haven't felt like quitting. I've actually quitted a few times after a couple of accidents over the years, and broke a wrist, and then end up having like 5 years off the bikes altogether, and eventually got around to getting back on, but running a business and a family, and things get in the way, and then you remember what you love doing, so you end up coming back to it again.
Tony Blair is my name. Yeah, I'm Ashley's brother. Career-wise, I've been in the Air Force pilot all my life, 30 years in the military as a fighter pilot. That's been my career, yeah. Yeah, so I'm new to riding with this group on Thursdays, so just trying to fit in with the crew. Not necessarily new to riding though, so like my brother Ashley started riding when I was 10 or so, like back in primary school days. Grew up racing motocross, but then was out of it pretty much most of my adult life. But I was into other motorsports though. I haven't thought about quitting in the last couple of years because I was quit. So I haven't been on dirt bikes much probably in the last 10 or 15 years, maybe a bit longer, but I was off racing road bikes for a fair while and riding freestyle jet skis. So, but I have had a dirt bike on and off over the years, and so yeah, I've quit it many times, but gone off and done other things, I suppose. A big part of it is the social scene. So the other sports I was doing, freestyle jet skiing and that sort of thing, it's almost like a solo sport, and there's no social side. There's no stop at the track, have a chat, ride with your brother, hang out with mates, talk about moto. So that side of it is a big plus. But there's lots of other things about it too. I often think I'm too old for it, shouldn't be doing it, with aches and pains and different injuries and things, but it keeps you young on the inside, keeps you mentally alert. I'm not the sort of person that's probably going to go, do the longevity stuff and try and exercise my brain, but moto keeps you in that mindset, keeps you feeling young and hanging around with young guys. It's kind of a bit of an inspiration.
Dave Kent, 43, been riding since I was 13. So yeah, 30 years. Not really, no. Always had a bike, but probably rode 5 times a year for like 15 years, like barely. Just the thought of selling the bike, you always just wanted to keep it there just in case, but never really, went out riding. I use my friends as examples, so if they're still riding, and they're older than me, I'm like, well, I can do that. So, if no one older than me was riding and everyone was pulling the pin, I'd probably think about it more, but having other people that ride and are older than me, I'm like, well, there's no reason to stop. Nothing is like motorbikes. Like all the other sports, it's just hard to say unless you do it, but when you ride, it's just something about it that you just don't want to quit. You are, but I think that's more racing. You ride over your head if you're racing sometimes. So practice riding, I think, is very minimal to crash if you've got, years of experience. If you're new, it's different, but if you've been riding all your life, it's pretty safe.
How long are you going to keep riding for?
I've thought about that. I thought maybe, I don't know, 58, 59, I'd probably look at being more of a maintenance guy on the track, still be involved, but I guess time will tell, but I would say around 60, probably ease off, maybe trail riding or something.
You know that's not going to happen, don't you?
Yeah.
You know that's not going to happen.
Well,
I'll see you in your 60s, mate, still out here doing laps.
well, I honestly probably will be. I'll probably ride forever, but for now, I've still got you know, a lot of years that I can still race and ride, so I don't really need to think about it yet.
We have one more thing to add to this. Tony has something really important he wants to say, and I haven't paid him for this enlightening endorsement. What do you want to say?
Part of the reason I'm out here riding moto is because of you. So watching some of your videos, like the one where you talk about guys being up around 60 years old and still doing moto, I found that motivational and encouraging. But also when I got back into it and came out for a couple of rides, I wasn't sure if it was going to stick because it's pretty hard getting back into it. But just the way you talked about it, you talked about guys doing it later in life and how everyone can ride at their own level and still enjoy it. So you actually motivated me to go out and get a new bike and get stuck into the sport.
How good's that? And you know what? This is, anyone's watching this video will now see my fucking mood change from this morning to now. And this is the reason why I had to come and do this. And today I was just going to shoot a ride video on my Honda, go, oh, hey guys, I bought a Honda, here's the video. But I thought, in a way, I was going to quit driving in here this morning, and now this is just going, you're a dickhead, mate, just keep riding and hanging out. So yeah, cheers, mate, I appreciate that greatly, Tony.
You can't quit.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, apparently I can't quit, so. Yeah.
And I know you, and I had to go looking for it, you know what I mean? Like it's...
All right, I am done for the day. Back down at the car, packing up. Gawley's gone. Yeah, look, I did 2 motos today. It was bloody good fun, eh? So, I think this morning when I come in, you could see how much of a funk my headspace was in this morning. I feel great now. I feel so good. I got to hang out with some buddies, watching everyone else enjoy their day. I feel good that I got to go out and do what I love doing, which is actually riding a motorcycle. It's funny. And this morning I was ready to just go, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. So I just wanted to sort of share with you the true emotion of what happens with all this stuff, you know, and a bit of a, you know, I'm just a bit of a head case, and that's what kind of happens is you get these little things where you just go, I don't know, I just feel sort of silly. And I think I have to put all that shit aside and just go, no, the reason I ride it is it's fun. I get to hang out with my mates. There's no pressure, we're not racing. And it's a pretty good feeling to go through a corner absolutely flat out and be hitting jumps and stuff and still be able to do that at 62. So I think I've got to give myself a lot of credit for that. And hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it sort of gives you some other riders some motivation as to, you know, you might be feeling a bit down and out. Jump in the messages, in the comments, let me know how you feel, if you've ever wanted to quit, if you have quit, if you've come back, if you're struggling. I think this is all about, you know, identifying your struggle and realizing you can punch through it. So 62, doing moto, still loving it. Catch you next video.